Be safe. Be safe. No matter where you at, what you doing, keep your eyes set on success, never lose it. You are who you hang with. Watch who you choosing. Peer pressure can't win it, or how you looking foolish. You smart when it comes to the drugs, gotta say no. No crime, no time, gotta lay low. Finish school, go to college, get a job, so get paid so. Be a boss, make a move when you say so. Listen up, go right, that's the better way. Get left if you slipping, gotta be safe.
Hey y'all, it's Malaya.
It's Landon.
It's Taylor.
And it's Shanae.
And we're the Be Safe Kids. And today we're going to be interviewing Destiny.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Who are you and what would you like to describe yourself as?
I am a student of life. I'm a mother. I'm a granddaughter. I'm a niece. I would describe myself as being motivated. I'm a steward to just helping people. I like to venture off and help not only in the community with elderly people, but also with children, adolescents, and just, build upon a different phase of life and just show individuals of something that they probably are not aware of that they could be possible to do.
Mm-hmm. How do you describe your upbringing?
My upbringing, I would say it was fair. And I say fair because I was loved, but we didn't know that we were poor. And we didn't know we were poor because of the love, but we didn't have a lot of things that other kids had. I was raised by my grandmother. I did know my mom because it was my mom's mom who raised me, along with my uncle. But I didn't have a relationship with my dad. I was taught a spiritual life. I had a lot of positive upbringing, but I would say it was hard. It was hard just trying to get an understanding, to get a lesson on who I was destined to become because I didn't have a lot of opportunities, but just growing up and slowly becoming who I am now, I gained a voice. And by me being able to speak and being comfortable with interacting with individuals, a lot of people gave me a chance and an opportunity. So here I am.
That's cool.
That's amazing.
Okay, so do you have anyone or anything you would consider to be a driving force in your life? So like a motivation, basically.
Definitely my grandmother. So of course, she raised me, but I take care of her now, and life has come about a full circle for me because my grandmother, bless her heart, she's on hospice. She'll be 85 years old this year. But her and my uncle, I take care of them now, of which they were the ones that raised me. So um, it it just showed me over time by staying under her wing and being obedient and also following good morals and laws and protocols that what it is that you want is not going to be easy, but it's worth it. So she was a nurse for 40 years. And, I always knew that when life gave her, what it had to offer her in the end life, that I didn't want her to be taken care of by anybody else. So now I'm here and I'm just gaining the lesson. So yeah, that's my driving force.
Would you consider it like hard or like really easy raising your grandmother by yourself?
It's hard when I have my own personal hard days. And I say that because I'm a single mom. I have three children. Um, I'm career driven. I have a group home that I'm in the process of building up. I feed the homeless 4 times a month. Um, and like I said, I'm a student. I'm in class, for CDL. So my future wise, I plan on having a trucking business. So it depends on the days, but I wouldn't want anybody else to do it. I that's just the position that God has placed me in, and it's no question. But I want to do anything else, but it depends. It's what you make it, you know, like anything else. If I wasn't doing that, if I was doing anything else, something would be hard, but you have to realize that the pressure is what builds you. It's what makes you strong. And if you wasn't able to endure it, it would never come upon you for you to be able to have to go through it. So, word to the wise for you guys is being young ladies too. If something comes upon you and it seems a little too hard, don't run away from it. If you're able to walk into it, because what it's going to do is to build your endurance for your next stage of life. Because you guys should already have a faith base, but what it should show you is that if I can get through this, then God is testing me to go a little bit further. Because you never want something that is so easy, because when it's easy to let go of it as well.
Okay,
Good
so
advice.
so what is CDL? You say you go to school for that. I don't know what that is.
Commercial truck driving.
So you want to be a truck driver?
I don't want to be a truck driver, but I'm willing to go through the process of becoming a truck driver so I can have a trucking business. So in my mind frame is that me being business oriented, I want to have a commercial truck driving business to where I want to be an owner operator. But I want to take the classes because once I have people that works under me, I want to be able to tell these people to do what it is that I know how to do. So nobody would be able to tell me, hey, Destiny, your truck is not operating, or I ain't pleased with this service. I'm leaving your truck on the side of the road. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, I can be able to go pick up my own truck.
Mm.
I know you had your hands on a few things in the past. You've retired from auto industry after 17 years. You transported, dispatching, cleaning service, medical assisting, volunteering with the homeless community. What is next on your agenda?
So now at the beginning of this month, I will be opening up a group home. And so the people that I'm hoping to service will be females. I'm hoping to service the older community. Um, I'm not aiming towards homeless now because I know it's so much of a mental aspect of what they need that I can't provide them at this moment just because my hands are in so many other things. But long term, that's why I want to be. I want to have a licensed therapist that's on hand when I'm dealing with the homeless people as far as giving them room and board, because within the service that I'm offering, everyone has to go through the process of going through a financial literacy class. So if I'm helping you, whether if you're older or not, whether if you want another job or not, I plan on sitting there and teaching you how to map out and pay your bills. I want to teach you how to write a check. I want to teach you how to balance your books. I want to teach you how to do a simple tax return, because it's the knowledge that I want to supply you, even if you don't use it for yourself, be able to give it to somebody else. And sometimes that little token is what actually will take you a long way to be a blessing to somebody else. So a blessing doesn't necessarily mean that it's monetary wise, but help somebody with some free knowledge that, someone has given you and pass it on.
What is the name of your group home that you're like coming over?
Ebony's Angel.
Ebony's Angels. Is it like gonna be like a building, like a building?
Yes, it's a home based location.
Oh, okay.
So the location is a little over 3,000 square feet, and it has 5 bedrooms, and I can fit about 10 individuals there.
That's nice.
So do you have like sponsors, people to help you fund it, or you come all out of pocket for it?
Everything is out of pocket, and it's okay, because I'm a true believer that a lot of things that I have done, I didn't always have help, but what's going to be for me, someone is going to see and acknowledge what it is that I'm doing, and so the right people at the right time is going to come by and help me. So God has blessed me in a position to where I can do it out of pocket to help someone else.
Mm.
What made you choose that name for your?
So I have a sister that passed away when I was 15 years old, and her name was Ebony. And so that has been the driving force behind the group home, because one of my last conversations with her was telling me, she was going to come back. It was a couple of days after my 15th birthday. And she told me I was going to come back. I'm going to come back and I'm going to help you. I'm going to purchase a few things that, that you want. And I just want to make you happy. I want to make sure that you're comfortable. So the force behind the boarding home is to make sure that it's women out there that actually have someone that cares about them, and it's to seek comfort. It's to make sure that they know that they loved. It doesn't matter where you come from, that is somebody out there that will give you a chance, a second, third, or a fifth chance. It doesn't matter. So it comes from her. If I could have a lifeline, I'd bring her back just so she can be able to, witness what it is that I'm doing in honor of her.
What does the next 2 to 3 years look like for you?
Definitely having a commercial truck driving business. I plan to, at max, have about 6 boarding homes. 2 to 3 years, I'll say one each year that I want to max out. So 3 in about 3 years, but definitely have about 2 or 3 commercial trucks that I'm moving.
As in a commercial truck, like, is it like the trucks that people be driving and then they take it to the food store and drop off the groceries and stuff?
Yes, yes. So some of them they're called reefers, but it's basically just moving different equipment. So if you're an owner operator, you can have your own truck, but you can work independently with different companies like Amazon, um, Dollar General. You can pull different materials for different trucks. So if the actual truck, the 18 wheeler itself, does not say a certain big known company, then that's an owner operator. If it has a name on the side of it that you don't necessarily recognize, then that's someone's individual trucks, but they have a trailer on the back of it that is, operating from a different manufacturer that you're just doing business with.
So what's your truck business? Does it have like a name yet, or like are you still deciding on it?
Destined for greatness.
Oh, that's catchy. That's catchy.
Thank you.
Do you have like a design logo?
I do. It's the same design logo that I have for my cleaning business. I mentioned before that I've done dispatching for truck drivers before during the pandemic. And so I was just kind of winging it then because I needed to figure out something else to do. Because during the pandemic, of course, I was still in the auto industry and we went through a process of a layoff. So I had to come up with something. So that's when I end up incorporating the truck dispatching and the cleaning business at the same time. So I was typing and cleaning at the same time.
What college do you go to? Like what college? Like yeah, what college do you go
Houston
to?
Community College. hmm
Is it good there?
It is. I went there for my associates. So yeah, I mean, it's what you make it. The school is the school. I think um, the positive side is when you have an instructor that actually cares about your future and not just there, for a job or a present moment just to get by. So you'll meet good people that cares about your future and what you're trying to become. So yeah, it's okay.
When you went to college, what was the first thing you majored in? Like your first 4 years of college when you went?
I was confused in all honesty what it is that I wanted to do. So it took me a while to get my associates because when I first started in the auto industry, I was 19 years old. And it was a lady, rest her soul, her name was Karen. She was a Caucasian lady. So I was 19, she was 25. And I started off as a receptionist. But at that time, I went to school to be a stenographer. So basically, I was going to um, court reporting, I would say, to make it make sense for y'all. The people that type, it's not even a regular typewriter, and it's not even words on there. You just got to figure out the keys, and it's someone that translates it to tell you what it is that I'm actually trying to say after the session. So that's what I was doing. I started off as a receptionist in the auto industry. I cut school off because I moved up so much. So within about 7 years, I went from a receptionist to a cashier. From a cashier, I did um, warranty. From warranty, I went to billing. From billing, I made my way into accounting. I don't have an accounting degree, but it was the people that saw me and saw the potential that was within me that gave me a chance and an opportunity. So that's how I was in the accounting industry for so long. And that held me up from school. But eventually, I did my associates in arts and, my bachelor's in psychology.
Was it hard for you to do that court thing?
Yeah, what is that?
Yes.
Is that
And
like
I say yes because I was so young. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to college to please my grandmother. And so I knew that then I wasn't interested in anything medical because it seemed hard to me. So I graduated originally a year early. I finished school when I was 17 years old. And that's because I wanted to go to the military. But it was distractions in between that held me up. So I had to do something so she would be pleased, but not necessarily satisfied because that wasn't what I wanted to do. But so it wasn't hard because I gave it up. But when it's hard and it's challenging, then it's worth it. So that's why I go back and I tell you, like, when it's easy to give it up because your heart is not destined to do it. If you can't find nothing that's going to challenge you, then you're not going to be able to stick to it.
that's cool?
Real cool.
So with most of us about to get ready to like go to college, what advice would you give us before we
Mhm.
head off?
Um, Make sure that where you're going is where you want to be. And it's not about the certainty, it's about making sure that you're standing strong in who you're being and not doing it for somebody else.
Mhm.
And you definitely need to hold on to a spiritual life when you get there. If you don't get it from your household, if you don't get it from your friends, seek somebody that is already in your life or somebody that knows somebody that has a spiritual ground, because it's nothing that we can do on this earth alone, nothing by ourselves. And don't believe that the invisible force is not moving. And that calls for God and also the enemy. And when we talk about the enemy, if you don't know too much about it, just know that whoever he is, if you don't have a background in him, he has no authority to do anything that God doesn't allow him to do. So you guys are still young. Y'all have a space in your life to where too much sin doesn't need to be committed. But follow the laws, the rules, and the protocols of what God has put in place. And if you don't know what that is, seek somebody and ask them what it is and allow somebody to tell you. And I understand that y'all young, y'all not gonna get it. I know when I was y'all age, I didn't get it either. But it's nothing that my grandmother ever told me that I didn't refer to later on when I needed it. And sometimes our mental is an invisible bank because you think that it's going in one ear and not the other. But when it happens to you, it's going to come back to like, oh, I remember hearing that. I remember that happening to me or somebody telling me this is what they were talking about. So, and make sure too, I know you guys are so close to each other. You guys are family and friends and however, but the people that you decide to bring your circle around, don't allow it to be one sided. And what I mean by that, don't just keep pouring into somebody else's empty cup. Because when your cup begins to get empty and theirs is overflowing, you're going to need something in order for you to not be drained out.
Yeah.
I thank you for that advice because I needed that for real.
Empty cup.
How has your walk of faith affect your relationship as a parent?
Um, at first I thought it was going to be challenging because whenever I talk to my kids about God and making sure that they have a spiritual foundation, before I used to think that they wasn't hearing me. But then I realized when I was making a breakthrough of when they began to have different encounters on their own, and they would come back and say, "Ma, can you pray with me?" Or "You remember when we talked about this?" And that allows me to know that you actually paid attention. You heard what it was that I was saying. So I have a son that's 19 and I have a daughter that's 16 and also that's almost 9. And so even my 9-year old, when I go out and I feed the homeless, she's right there. She wants to pass it out. She wants to ask them, if they want water or if they want juice or, and that makes me feel good because if nothing else in the word, it says that the righteous shall not be forsaken and nor shall your children beg for bread. And so the fact that you guys are still young, you guys are somebody else's children. So take heed and look at the fruit that everybody's bears and even your parents. If your parents are showing you guys good things, if they're being a good display to you, then that's why you guys are still being withheld and you guys are still in a strong faith base. But you guys still have to have time and a space to do something for yourself. Don't depend on your parents and your grandparents' prayers all the time because as you guys are getting older, your parents are not responsible for your sins no more. So you guys will have to take charge of that part of your life too.
Um, what?
It's your turn.
Oh, okay. So I know you have a strong faith base. Would you consider some type of ministry as a focal point of one day?
Yes. So my ministry would never be in a church, and it's nothing against churches. I've been church hurt, but that's not the reason of why I would not do it. I feel like it's a lot of people that's on the street or don't have a church base that needs more ministry in their life than the people that actually get up and go to church every Sunday. And I
Mhm.
say that because if you've never been accepted by a certain community, would you be more acceptable of getting dressed and going somewhere every day and hoping somebody pay attention to you or give you a word?
No.
So you have many preachers, you have many bishops and deacons already in the church, but what happens to the people that's already on the outside that doesn't necessarily have someone that's going to come and give them a word when they need one? So my ministry comes from helping people. I would stand on the corner before I go into church.
You don't like church?
I love church, but I don't think that everybody that goes to church has a relationship with God. You're in church. You're here to hear a word. But as you get older, you'll understand what I'm saying, that many times that I've read the scriptures before when I was younger, I didn't necessarily understand what it meant when I was reading it. But now that I'm older and I have life under my belt, I understand that when things need to take heed, or when you need to pay attention to what this scripture says and what that scripture says, how is it applying to my life? Or when I'm in a bind or in a situation to where I don't necessarily understand what life is happening to me right now, how would I go online and Google what it is that I'm feeling and where is that scripture going to lead me? This book that I have in my lap right now, this is by Kevin L.A. Ewing, and he is a pastor from the Bahamas. And this book has completely changed my life. Not only has he, but this book has changed my life, because when you in a certain situation and you don't necessarily know what to pray, this is what you go to. And one thing I'll tell y'all, if y'all do know what prayer is, what it's not is being repetitive. Because God doesn't ignore us, but he won't listen to our repetitive prayers if we're steady asking him for the same thing. But when you know what the book says, the only thing he asks us to do is give him his word back. So find a base. And I'm going to always be available to you guys going forward too. But I came on here because I wanted to speak to you guys, because you guys are young ladies. Y'all are young, growing women. And I've been there before. I can't necessarily say what my mind was when I was 15, 16, and 17 years old. But I know it wasn't on this. So if I had to go back and do it again, would I know? Because if I had that time at that age, I probably would have stumbled and made a lot of mistakes because I didn't think that it was important then. That's why I didn't have it. But I'm proud of who I am right now. So y'all don't miss the mark. It's good to have fun. It's good to hang with your friends and do things as a young being. But we're granted so much time during the day that seems short, but we make important what's important to us.
Us as young ladies, would you recommend as far as dating?
I would say don't take nobody serious. And as women, one thing you have to know, if y'all like somebody, your only position as young women is to be recognized and noticed. Never to seek somebody else.
Wait, I don't get it. So like,
I'm going to give you an example. You know who Adam and Eve is, right?
yes.
Okay. So in the garden, God presented Eve to Adam. So you're just supposed to be seen. He's supposed to pursue you. If you like a young man and he's not giving you the same thing in return, you got to leave him where he is. Because at some point in time, you have to be important. I don't agree with when people say, oh, okay, I'm the prize or I'm bringing everything to the table. It's not about that. Because a table is nothing if you don't have chairs or you don't have a foundation to sit there and enjoy what the table is supposed to bring. But I definitely do not believe, especially as young women, you're supposed to chase a man. I don't have a ring on my finger, but that's by choice. Because what I choose to display for myself, everybody is not going to agree with the way that I live my life. And that's okay. But when I go to bed and I wake up, I'm in peace to know that I don't want nobody to rewrite my story because I'm proud of who I am. God put it in my heart to be somebody's wife, but I need a husband too. I don't just want to be somebody's wife. So if y'all want to have boyfriends or young men in y'all life, just allow them allow them to see who you are. But I wouldn't give you no advice to chase no young man. If he ain't texting you back, you ain't important to talk to.
Oh, first of all, I don't understand why y'all keep looking at me, because let's remember who got all these people in y'all phone.
Hey.
Who got all that stuff for her notes? Okay, let's not talk about your Instagram notes. Let's not talk about you, and let's not talk about you. Let's stop playing.
I didn't put y'all in the hot seat. I didn't mean nothing. It's for everybody.
Nothing, you know. I said on you, lady.
I don't understand why I keep getting looks. When we went on our Instagram notes, let's pull up them notes. Yeah.
No, that's federal. That's very
exactly.
federal.
Can y'all imagine? I ain't gonna give y'all my age. It was none of this. It was no phone. You had privacy. It was a house phone. If you wanted to conjoin the call, you're gonna have to say, hold on and let me click over and call you. And then it wasn't even that you had to dial the area code. So that means it wasn't even that many people created to have no. It just wasn't. If I had to do it all again, I would go back to then because it was privacy. It was privacy, and you had the ability to be who you are without being judged by everybody else, and not only being judged, but you can be who you are comfortably without being in silent competition with somebody. Because I know my kids, they see stuff online and they feel like, yeah, mama, you doing what's right, but I like what's going on here. So as a parent, I feel like I'm in competition with social media because I teach my kids one way and then they see something else and they think that it's cool and it's fun. Like, mama, you right, but this right too. I don't like being in the in-between when it comes down to parenting because I know that I do everything that I have to make sure that my kids are okay.
Mhm.
So y'all ain't got it easy. Y'all think it's fun, but I don't think it's easy.
I feel like it's more easy now because, like, on the house phone, somebody could just pick up the phone and listen to y'all conversation.
And my uncle did it all the time. So guess what? And I was a kid. I wasn't supposed to be saying half of the stuff that I was saying anyway for somebody to listen.
Yeah.
It's going to always be something. So can you imagine God spare you to grow up and become a parent? What you see right now is not going to be what it is later. Because when I was y'all age, right now, what I see now is not what it used to be.
Oh.
It's going to be a whole new era. So what you think is normal is not. What you're getting used to is not.
Oh.
It's gonna stay this way forever.
Yeah.
I'm not changing nothing. I don't.
I like my privacy.
This is privacy. Social media is privacy.
I don't put put all my business out there,
Put
but
everything on.
I don't put everything on social media. But like your messages and people who you talk to, that's private.
So imagine this, right? Like you and I'm your age or you're my age and we're friends. And if something happens and in between that friendship, we shared a lot of things. But now we no longer getting along and I'm being the disloyal person that you never thought that I was in the beginning for you to be able to tell me all your business. So now I have new friends. And now me and my new friends are just talking about you. Right? So now, no. It's just general conversation. I'm not picking on nobody. I'm just giving you guys an example. So now, me and my new friends, we talking, and one of us, either me or my new friend, we post something subliminal on social media, but her and I are still friends. She's going to think that I'm slinging a shot at her because now we're no longer friends, and it sounds familiar to her. Can you imagine back then when I was a kid? That didn't bother me because that wasn't there. So if we're not friends no more, you going about your business, I'm going about my business. I don't know what you're doing, and it is what it is. So you would never understand that level of privacy that I'm talking about. But it's going to look unfamiliar to you in another 10, 15, 20 years if God spare you the same to say whatever's going on then, oh, I wish it was like it used to be. But how y'all used to be, our used to be's then, we don't like it. So it's a revolving door and it's just life. We can't change it.
I just feel like our generation is better. It's more modern.
How would you know if it's better because you've never been present in the past?
Because in the past, y'all didn't have nothing for real. Girl, no.
And you acting ungrateful. Like
No, I am not. I said our generation is better. That's being grateful for our generation.
I think so. So I would put it. I would give you a metaphor to say you feel like it's better, even though you haven't been in the past time before. It's better because if you never had a raggedy car, you've only had nice cars, right? But then if you get a hoopty, of course you're gonna feel like, oh, that nice car was better.
Meet. My band teacher got one. He got a meet. They was talking about it in class.
bro.
Yeah, it's okay. You guys are grown, and I think it's cute. You know, I live vicariously through my 16-year-old daughter. My son, he don't make it seem like life is too hard for him, but he's a boy, and I had to explain to him the other day because he was like, "Mama, why you call me your only begotten son? Is it because I'm the only boy?" I was like, "No, when you go into the book, as far as talking about the begotten son, it's the child that's more like me." And that's what God referred to Jesus as because he is his liking. You are my only begotten son because I'm a spirit. I allowed the flesh to come in and take over as far as being me because people that don't see don't believe. So if I bring in the flesh and I allow somebody to see the miracles that can happen, you are me and I am you. We are one. So when I speak that to him, he gets it. And so when I've given him those conversations, he's allowed now for me to be able to tell without him speaking, Mama, I'm getting it. I understand what you're talking about. I'm taking heed to a lot of things. And it's a slow boogie, but I'm grateful for the process. But my 16-year-old, tune back in for that one. And she's a good kid, but she's a young lady just like y'all. So it's about being cute. It's about getting my nails done and my hair done. What y'all say? I was like, what's these sound effects? What is that? Everything is a
I don't say that.
You don't say that?
Like I say when somebody says something that I don't believe. Like
So that's what that means. When she say because she don't believe.
it's different meanings, I guess. I say other stuff. Like I say words.
Like what? So you can give me the tune in. I ain't gonna tell her that you did.
I don't know. It just if something come up, I'll be like, oh, or I'll say something like what, or like I'll just say words.
So my almost 9-year-old, she be like, period, poo. What does that mean?
That mean period.
Say what that means.
Yeah.
So y'all don't know what nobody said.
Period mean
We
like
don't say-
you just
we don't-
that's like cute. Like it's a lot of meanings for period.
Like you did that.
You did
Yeah, like you just did that. Like period on my outfit.
We don't say that
Nobody
no
say
more,
that.
though.
Okay, but like if your outfit cute, your friend be like, look at my outfit. You be like, period.
Y'all run
Yeah, like
y'all
that, like,
learn
I-
the words so fast. I mean, y'all just created y'all own dictionary because
You weighed it
I just
down.
be missing it.
Yeah, that's a lot of words I use.
I say 8.
8.
Yeah, you ate that up.
I say period or you look good.
Per.
Leave me where I am. It's too much. I can't consume it all. I can't.
Ow. I got this.
But
Um, huh? TMI.
Cause I got a bump on my nose.
Nobody cares.
What did you want to be when you were like our age? Like,
Initially, I wanted to, believe it or not, be a homicide detective.
Ooh.
And that was because growing up with my sister, she was raised in the South Park area. And at that time, I lived in Harlem Clark. So whenever I would come and see her, I seen a lot of police cars and ambulance. And I know the first time I seen a medical examiner's van, I asked her, like, what does that mean? And I had to be maybe like 10 or 11. And she began to explain it to me. But then she said, in this area, and it'll start to grow depending on where you located, but you will see more crime and this and that. And I was just intrigued because it was never about seeing the deceased people, but about how can I get on the other side of consoling the people that's hurting or the people that's losing family members. So eventually I grew over to be like, okay, well, maybe psychology as far as getting into their mental, as far as being, a counselor or a therapist. So, but yeah.
I signed up for that class for high school. They have it. They had it in my old school, and I signed up for it. Didn't get it.
What class?
It's called like
The
homicide.
forensic science class.
I think so.
Mhm.
It was like back in 8th grade. I signed up for it for high school. I didn't do it.
We have that. We have law and justice.
Mhm.
But I used to take business info and they kicked me out. They didn't kick me out, but they took me out. So now I take welding. So I'm finna learn how to weld.
you said that you chose it and you was just playing.
I didn't know they was gonna give it to me. So they gave it to me.
So how is it like you can switch, right?
No,
That's
they won't let me.
I'm not
Really?
bored.
They won't let you switch until like
The next year.
the next semester.
No, for us the next year. You
Oh yeah,
get
you go to HI.
you get like 2 schedule changes per year. And I was like, y'all put me in welding.
So
Cause
you,
we
want,
got
so you want to talk about the past again? How times is better? When I was in school, look at you looking. They used to allow us to change it.
they
And-
do, but they tripping.
Yeah.
They tripping this year.
Because I guess for y'all age, it's kind of like, why would you make me pursue something, taking up time in my life that I'm never going to use, if that's not something that I want to do?
Yeah, cause I'm not gonna be no welder. Like they got mechanics though. They should give me mechanics so I can learn how to work on my car when I get a car.
You get a car. I take photography and culinary. Yeah. Culinary.
So what do you want to do when you grow up?
Cosmetology, but they don't have that at my schools.
You want to do cosmetology? Like you want to do hair?
Yeah.
I sent her to that school.
I want to cook.
You want
Take-
to
sign up for culinary.
Okay.
Yeah, when you go to that school.
Is that what you want to do too?
No, I want to be a cosmetologist.
Cosmetology.
Cosmetology or a chef?
We don't have it at my school, but when I go to college, I'm a major in psychology and law, so I could be a lawyer or a psychologist or something if I don't be famous.
Okay.
You gonna make money?
That's good.
She's right about
So
that.
everything that y'all talking about, you can be independent. Like you don't need, a
Man.
corporation. Well, not only a man, yeah, not a man, but you don't need a corporation or a business that's behind you. I mean, eventually, it'll be a company that'll help you, but it's something y'all can do that's independent. So that's good. I'm not gonna tell y'all my age again, but it took me a lot of years to realize that, having a job or even having a salary, it's to keep you in that mindset of depending on a company or a business to allow you to move forward.
Mhm.
So it takes a lot to step out on faith and to be able to have, your own being and your own doing as far as making sure that you can do it independently. But you can.
Mhm.
It's hard work. But it's the freedom that's behind it that'll keep you to drive for it, because if you don't want to get up every day and go work and deal with somebody else's attitude, you don't necessarily have to.
Mm.
But it takes a lot of discipline.
Okay, before we close out, what is one thing you want to tell our viewers, like advice?
Mm-hmm.
Have a strong foundation, not only within yourself, but in your surroundings.
Mhm.
Make sure that who you decide to keep in your circle, whether it's big or small, you guys can give each other a lifeline. So if she's not present, then you're available. And if you're not available, then she's consistent in what it is that you guys need to keep going forward. Be each other's chain reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Our bond is like very, very close. Like there's
Ooh.
not been a time when we haven't been close.
When? Us?
Us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you guys need to recognize a testing season. I had best friends of 25 years, and then just abruptly, and I'm not going to say it was nothing behind the scenes, but abruptly the God changed the situation for me. But when I was in the in-between and I was going through it, I didn't understand of why our friendship wasn't working. I realized the level that he was bringing me to, and sometimes it's not necessary to bring everybody with you. And I'm not saying that in the discouraging phase. I'm just telling y'all that even outside of y'all circle, if y'all have friends on your own, outside of this circle,
Mhm.
it's okay if an expiration date comes and you have to let somebody go.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes people are there to rewrite your story. So if they can't come along, then one thing that God will never do is allow you to lose something that you need.
Mm. Okay, so right before we close, would you ever consider joining us again on the podcast to give some more?
Absolutely. Would y'all have me back?
Yeah. Hmm.
Period, fool, huh?
Okay, y'all, but
And make sure you keep God in your prayers.
yes,
Yes.
God
Yes.
first,
God first.
Yes.
only.
Always check your surroundings.
Yes, always check your surroundings.
Be aware
What's
what's around you.
Oh my God. Make sure you tune in for the next podcast we have coming next week. Make sure you follow Destiny on her social medias. Make sure you follow all of us on our social medias, which will be linked down below. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like, comment, share. Don't share. I'm playing. share. And we love y'all so much. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time.
Bye. Be safe. Be safe.
Why can't I still